Before I was a freshman, I read a book called How to Win at College, in which author Cal Newport argued that daily to-do lists do not work at college. Now, I largely agree, and today I want to get into why I find to-do lists inadequate, what Trello is, and how it helps me as a college student to manage my work. Let's get into it. The fundamental issue with to-do lists is that they represent only two states, done and not done. Now, don't get me wrong, to-do lists are powerful, versatile tools. They're good for lots of things, from daily housework to surgical prep. And that's because they help to ensure that every part of what you plan to do is done. And that's why they excel, but in my eyes are limited to areas with foreseeable but forgettable subtasks, like grocery shopping, for instance. College assignments are fundamentally more complicated. They may have multiple parts, they may be very long and take you a lot of time to complete. They may benefit from you putting off the hard bits until you can get some help in office hours, and you may need to dredge them up and revisit them as you revise for midterms and final exams. Now, these complexities are not impossible to fit into a good to-do list system, but they are very hard. So that brings me to Trello. Trello is an implementation of the Kanban system, which frames work in a very different way from a to-do system. Instead of a predictable series of subtasks which you're working through, the Kanban system asks you to think of jobs as small projects, each of which is at a different stage of progress. Stages are arranged from left to right in order of increasing progress. So when a job is assigned, it enters at the earliest, leftmost stage, and it is complete when it has moved all the way to the right. This works so much better for college work in two major areas. The first is office hours. I want to highlight how Kanban helps me to count small steps when I'm going through a long assignment. Now, rarely is there a week where I don't hit a real head scratcher of a problem. Maybe it's because I misread the question, maybe I'm taking the wrong approach, maybe I was checking Twitter during class and missed a key concept. Whatever the reason, I just can't solve the question right now. Now, at this point, I've done everything I can, so I'm going to drag the card from the assigned column over to the started column. And after working through my issues with a teaching assistant during their office hours, I'll finish up the assignment and drag it over to the completed column. Let's contrast this with a checklist system. Well, after resolving to go to office hours, I would have to leave the assignment as incomplete because, as a matter of fact, it is incomplete. That's frustrating. My work system informs my happiness and my stress level, and putting in an hour of effort but not getting to visually mark it anywhere in my system, well, I find it discouraging. This incentivizes me to either give up so that I can mark it as done, or try to bash through the problem myself, which is ineffective and a poor use of my time. My point is that having gradations between assigned and complete, between done and not done, it helps me to work more effectively. The second area where the Kanban system excels is in exam revision. Trello helps me to mark the space between completing an assignment and actually mastering the concept that that assignment is covering. One of the things I never understood in high school was that having feedback, having your mistakes pointed out in an assignment is a really good thing. It highlights an area for growth so that you can demonstrate that growth on the final exam. In a to-do list system, there isn't really a natural place for that revision to go. The task is completed, it's gone, so why would you look at it again? In my Kanban system, submitted is only the middle stage, not the end, because I've intentionally added stages for marked and revised work. After something is graded and a mistake is flagged, I'm going to drop it under the marked column so that it can be revised later. This marked column serves as a kind of grease trap in the system to catch errors for a later revision so that I can hopefully avoid them on the final. Besides being a Kanban board, Trello adds a suite of to-do elements that you can integrate into your cards. One of these is to-do lists. Now, I've ragged on checklists a bit, but they're popular because they're useful. And Trello knows this, so they allow you to integrate checklists into a task, which I do often. For example, adding a list of problems to ask about or a list of things that I need to look up for this assignment. Besides checklists, Trello also provides support for due dates and open-ended text comments. It can support boards with multiple people and even has some automation tools. Now, the last feature which I want to touch on, strange as it may seem, is the ability to set background photos. You can pick these gorgeous background photos from Unsplash in high resolution and free of watermarks. I think that this deserves special mention because, like Obsidian's vault-specific themes, these photos give each board a specific sense of digital place. Now, each semester, I start a new board with new wallpaper, and that change in the image helps me to mark the change of the seasons. But I think it goes further than that. Last fall culminated in me getting to fly home to visit family and friends after an entire year of COVID isolation. And this image that I chose helped to keep that beacon front of mind as I slogged through a very difficult semester. Sense of place is, in my opinion, an underrated feature in software, and it's definitely one reason I've stuck with Trello for so long. Trello is free for individuals and small teams, and it's available as a web app and as a mobile app, so check it out, and I hope you found this overview useful.